What is up, guys? Skylar Fennell here. Super excited for this video today. We are going to be talking about everything that you guys need to know when prepping for a tournament. Whether it's a professional event, amateur event, your first event, 100th event. I've played at pretty much every level there is, from junior golf, collegiate golf, professional golf, now YouTube golf. I'm playing actually with Sean Walsh next week, so I got to get ready to kick his butt. A few days after that, I'm playing Colorado Open, the biggest professional event in the country with the biggest purse. Want to make sure my game is dialed, ready to go. Let me show you how we get ready for it. So hitting balls here, I have my full swing set up, so I know how far I'm hitting it. Getting ready for a tournament, the only number I'm really concerned about is the carry number. I want to know how far I'm carrying it here, how far I'm going to carry it in Philly, in Colorado. Those things are going to vary, temperature, elevation. I am using an alignment rod right now just to check my alignment. I'm going to start with my 60, kind of go through some wedge swings, work up the bag. But primarily, I'm thinking about my target. I'm not thinking about what's going on here with my body or my swing feels or looking at video. What helps me the most in all my years playing professional golf, getting ready for big tournaments, getting ready for Q School, shutting off swing video. The swing video has its time and place when you're working on whatever it is in your body. If there's maybe one thing you're working on and you can limit it to be focused on one feel, I'm totally good with that, but I think you're a heck of a lot better off focusing on that, utilizing your target and trajectory to form your feels and get a much better idea of how you can create the shots and a better idea of your dispersions. I'm not going to hit it perfectly next week. I would love to, but I know I'm probably going to have some tendencies that I have that I can start to adjust for and know how I play to those tendencies. Then when I am presented with a shot on the course, a tee shot or an iron shot, that I can either adjust my game plan or adjust in my setup to know how I can execute the shot at hand. So let's get into it. Setup at the red flag. So I'm just going to start making some swings. I always like warming up with a 60 or 56 wedge, and I like to feel very little hinge. I think a lot of times when we start warming up, we're very armsy. So I want to turn on this motor. I want to turn on the body a little bit more. So I like to feel like I'm Steve Stricker, Jason Day when I'm hitting these initial wedge shots. And I keep the flight down, very little face rotation, just feels like the club can stay in front of me. When you see good wedge players, the wedges are flighted down. We don't want, especially at elevation, if I'm all of a sudden hitting this really high wedge shot, that can vary 5 to 10 yards, and then it's harder to control distance and line. So, see what that says, 80.5. We're pretty happy with that. I'm a big fan if you can get access to a full swing or some type of launch monitor, get your numbers dialed. That is so big going into a tournament. A lot of times, good amateur players, they've just been hitting balls on the range and the trajectory looks great, but then they go to tee off and they're like, I don't know how far my 7-iron goes. I think it goes 170, 180, but it's like that, knowing it to a tee, knowing your gaps of exactly where you hit it, and then maybe have your one less, your 3/4, what's going to take a little bit of distance off, knowing what you do. Do you choke up? Do you feel like you hit a cut, take off a little compression? So that is huge when getting ready for a tournament. Okay, let's move up the bag. Let's go to hit a 9-iron, which for me should be about my 150, 155. I'm also focused on my balance. Like a lot of things, it's just so not technical in what the face is doing. I'm reacting to trying to create my trajectory, but in a tournament, if I'm good balance at setup, kind of hitting my setup checkpoints, getting into a good finish, a lot of times everything's going to kind of take care of itself. So that was actually one of my feels the first time I played Q School, was just get to a balanced finish, because that will kind of just help connect all the dots. If you feel a little uncomfortable with things, especially if you're working through a swing change going into a tournament, feel like you can just get to a good balanced finish. That's a nice way to just clean up everything that you're kind of working on and smooth things out. So highly recommend it. To me, a little quick from the top, a little pulley. So for me, sometimes when I get a little fast with my hands, I sometimes get that smother. So I want to feel, the number was faster, I got 154, but I want to feel like I can keep this club, these hands down in front of me, rather than if I want to rip open with that upper body, I sometimes get that smother left. So feel like we can connect those pieces, keep the arms, hands in front of me as I'm shifting into my left side, and a little bit better with that start line. Much better there. Hold my balance a little bit more. Good with that. Okay, and then now once I'm getting into these longer clubs, I'm gonna wanna hit the higher and lower flight. All right, let's go to 4-iron now. This could be a club that I hit off the tee a lot. Hitting this lower runner out there that for me carries around 215, 220 can run out is a great shot that I utilize off the tee. Good on the balance, good on the flight. Finishes kind of just past that red. Yeah, 210 carry. Then we'll flip to the cut. Kind of like that. So again, we're up to hybrid now. Just to reiterate, no swing video. All I'm doing is relying on trajectory and the number that full swing is showing me on the carry. That to me is gonna match so much more of playability out on the course and trust in my feels of what I'm feeling to execute the shot. And then when things get off, I can go back in, go through my routine, kind of take a second to assess how that felt, what I did, how to adjust, go through my routine, make the adjustment and go execute. So again, we're hitting that hybrid, kind of like we're going off the tee, a little lower one. It's a nice little fairway finder, especially when the fairways get firm. Just want to put one out and play. That one's 227 carry. Let's move up the back. Let's go to driver at the red flag. For me, yeah, a little wind off the right. It's going to feel like a touch of a draw with the wind. Kind of looking for that 275, 280 carry. Pretty good on the line. So same kind of thing. We'll go ball position slightly up. Feel like I can rotate pretty freely and hard. Let that thing cut. Yeah. Up the left side. It's cutting, the wind's kind of holding it left, but that'd be left side of the fairway. I feel pretty good about where things are at. Feel good about my carry numbers. Feel good about my swing feels. We're not technical. Kind of go to the next steps of going to play a lot. And just quick tip here, if you guys are prepping for a tournament, you're obviously already building that stress and anxiety, probably getting ready for the tournament. This is a good time to relax, even if you're not hitting it perfectly. If you're hitting a few shots that are bad, take a second, relax. You don't have to go beat a bunch more balls. Think about what you're doing. Take a couple deep breaths, take a couple practice swings, go in there and go execute. If you need to take a look at video, if you're really lost on certain things and you need a little feedback, or I honestly recommend asking a buddy that you trust or maybe a coach if you have easy access to that to give you just those simple feels if you feel like you're kind of lost and want some answers. But the more that you can trust your eyes, trust your body, trust your feels, and just trust your gut as far as your timing, tempo, rhythm, that's going to help alleviate a lot of that stress and anxiety that's probably building as you're trying to find it in the dirt. So trust your game, stick to the process, and go execute. Now we're here on the putting green. I'm gonna take you through a few of the drills that I like getting ready for a tournament to make sure you're checking all the boxes as far as start line, feel, routine, that keeps you in tune, ready for that tournament play, tournament routine. The first thing I need everybody to hit, pretty non-negotiable, start line. You need to have some type of drill you go to that makes sure you're hitting your start line. So for me, I have the Tiger Gate drill to make sure my path is good. I have the tees set up here, make sure that I'm hitting it through the tees. You can use the Pels Tutor. There's a bunch of different tools online to make sure that you're hitting your start line. So I'll go through that anywhere from 3 to 5 feet. So I'll hit a few of these to start. Really diligent about my pacing and routine. I don't just want to get into a situation where I'm just stagnant over the ball, just raking, hitting balls. I really want to be intentional with each ball I hit. And then as I start to get more comfortable hitting my start line, then I want to vary my speed. So if I'm getting more comfortable with my start line, then I'm going to want to go front of the cup speed, perfect speed, back of the hole speed. Then that way I'm hitting my start line while also maintaining how firm I'm hitting these putts. Because when I get to some of those breaking putts, am I going to want to hit it with firmer speed? Am I going to want to dial it in? So this keeps you a little bit more athletic and focused rather than just raking and hitting balls. So here I'll go kind of, yeah, that softer drip in speed. Pretty good, a little firmer. See if I can hit that one again. A little bit softer speed. Feel like it can drip over the front edge. There we go. Go to that firmer speed. So this is kind of like I have this putt that's pretty firm. Want to feel like I can get it a little bit more back of the hole. Yeah, a little bit firmer on the speed there. So that's checkpoint one. Make sure you're hitting your start lines. Make sure you're starting to get a feel for your speed, hitting a little bit softer, a little firmer. starting to match that up. And then the next thing we're gonna do is going into my speed. So take my tees out. Green speeds are gonna vary, but one of the things I like to do, I'll take a few balls, couple balls, and I'll hit putts, just focusing on my speed, but I'm gonna keep my head down the entire time, and I'm gonna give a reflection or answer on how I think my pacing was. So it gives me a lot more feel built into my hands and do my kind of what I'm seeing, as Tiger says, putting to the picture. I feel like I'm really getting tuned to that of what I'm putting to over there rather than just trying to hit it and look up and being eager to match that speed. So going to this uphill putt here. So I'm gonna set up, go through my routine, feel like I have a good feel for the pace. Felt a little on the firm side, which it was about 4 feet past, 3-4 feet past. Feel like I'll be a little bit better this time, kind of smooth out that pacing. Feel like I can kind of drip this in the front edge pace. Better on the pacing for sure. I knew that was much better. I look up and it is. So I really like that one, especially when you're going to a new course. Start to hit uphill putts, downhill putts. Really test yourself on how your feel is. Do you know, did I leave that short? Did I hit that long? Is that perfect speed? And if you start to look up and they're matching, you're really starting to tune in with your feel, which should help out a lot. Last drill here, one of my favorite drills. This helped me get my Korn Ferry Tour card because it really practices your routine. At the end of the day, when you get into a tournament and you have these shorter putts and your stroke isn't perfect, the routine is a nice safety blanket to keep you consistent and make those putts that maybe if you were a little off on your routine, you wouldn't normally do. So I set them up. I've got 6 tees here, starting one of them right down below the hole on a straight putt, starts to go around. You start to feel the different slope. I like picking a hole with a good amount of slope too, because then when I go out onto the course and I have a shorter putt that doesn't break that much, it feels pretty easy. So I like a putt that's at around 2-3% slope. So you really get a feel for being confident in making these shorter breaking putts. So I use one ball. I start down at the bottom and I go around and I try to make every putt. If I've made every single one, I move each tee back a foot. If I don't, I have to restart. So I also like, one of the keys is using my coin. Whatever you utilize on the course, I like utilizing that in your practice, especially when you start going to your routine, then it feels just like you're going through on the course. So I put my tee down. For me, I put my marker down. For me, I use a line. So I line this up, got it at the center of the hole, go back here, confirm the line is good, step up, go through my routine, hold the finish, now go on, go to the next putt. So once you've completed all 6, you move each tee back 1 foot. I like on the first drill where I have the putter set up, it's right at about 3 feet. You should make all of these. If you miss one of those, you got to restart. Once you move it back a foot, it goes to 4 feet. I give myself, if I'm putting well, I try to make them all, but maybe for you, give yourself 1 or 2 misses where you can still continue the drill moving on. So I'd say once you go to 4 feet, you give yourself 1 miss. If you go to 5 feet, you give yourself 2 misses, but try to complete the drill, building confidence, building that routine. You can expand it up to 8 feet. I feel like once I'm at starts to expand, maybe not exactly a foot, but yeah, I kind of like to getting into that 7 to 8 foot range. Really good chance to really hone in your routine. Then when you go out onto the course, you just carry out the same process you did here with your coin, make more putts. 3 drills that we covered. The start line drill, I do that every time, whether I'm practicing or getting ready for a tournament. I want to make sure I'm hitting my start line. So again, chalk line, Pels, Tudor, whatever tool you like to utilize to hit your start line. I like making sure I'm confidently hitting that at the start of a round or in a practice session. Then the circle drill, I like really when I'm practicing. It's harder right before a tournament time-wise. You don't want to feel like you've got to restart a circle and change your routine of your warm-up. So I really will just take a coin and take a ball. Once I've hit my start line, feel like I've gotten my speed down pretty well, I will throw down a few putts around the hole into those breaking putts, go through my routine, feel like I'm locked in on my routine, hitting my start line, hitting the center of the hole, feeling pretty confident. But in your practice, I like taking the time to go through that circle routine. It may take 15 to 30 minutes, but you're going to feel very accomplished once you do. You've gotten in a lot of reps of your routine, and making a lot of putts builds a lot of confidence. And then those putts where you're keeping your head down, I'm honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm utilizing that when I play too, because I have a tendency of wanting to hit it and look up and see where it's going, or give it a little extra. That when I keep my head down, Tiger was really good at this, especially back when he started early on tour. You would see his head stay down for a very long time up until the putt was almost to the hole. That way he's, again, putting to the picture. So I really like that drill for you guys that are very eager to see what's going on, to see where it's going. So it just helps me smooth out my pacing through the stroke and then get a better feel for my speed. So I like that on uphill, downhill putts. Really starts to match your feel for what you're visualizing, feeling, seeing, and executing. So try those out, prepping for a tournament, right before a tournament, and it should help you putt a lot better. All right, what is up, guys? We're in the gym now, which is one of the key places to get ready for a tournament. If you haven't been playing 18 holes, 36 holes, 72 holes, your body's probably gonna tire down by the end if you don't prep for it. So for me, I like putting in the miles before. I'm gonna play, it's 72 holes, ideally, if I play well, make it to Sunday, where that's probably 5 to 6 miles a day at elevation. I need to prepare now, get my body and cardio in check, ready to go. So I've been actually, for the last couple weeks, I've been getting ready. I've been trying to run 3 miles 3 days a week. And now I'm kind of pumping that up to a little bit more. I'll kind of do 3 miles with like a little walk in between, so it gets closer to 5 miles. Try to run that 3 times a week. So like right now, I'm starting at kind of 3 as far as my speed. I like cranking up the elevation or the slope a little bit. I like working off of anywhere from like 2 to 5, depending on where you're comfortable. So I'll walk for, 3 to 5 minutes, get the body warmed up, then crank it to the run, where I'll either run for an extended amount of time for those 3 to 5 miles, or break it up if you want to go walk for 5 minutes, run for 5 minutes, walk for 5 minutes, run for 5 minutes, however you want to break it up to start to just get the miles that you need to get your body ready to walk that distance, to be ready for your tournament. Because the worst is if you get to Saturday or Sunday and your body's tired. You need to be ready. You need to be at your peak by the end of the tournament, not just at the beginning. So I'm going to crank it up here and start to get into our run. So another thing I like to do with a treadmill, especially at your gym, if you're getting ready to starting to build not only reps in your miles, but your strength, building that posterior chain, strong glutes, hammies, back, you can utilize this as a sled push. So put your hands up against the bar, lean forward, start to push, turning on those feet, hamstrings, glutes, back. I like to rep this out for about 20 to 30 seconds. You can crank it up into a run. Really turns the body on. Then once that's firing, you go into your walk, go into your run, kind of cycle it all over again. Gonna really turn on posterior chain, your whole body, get you ready to swing well. Another thing I love to bring with me on a tournament, when I'm out on the road, keep it in the golf bag, is an exercise band. Super light, but helps turn on a lot of that fascia and muscle tissue that's key in the golf swing. So I'll go at about shoulder distance apart, just go to these band spread aparts. Really feel like I'm doing it with my upper back T-spine rather than just my arms. So I'll rep those out for about 15 to 20, and then I'll go over and back. Feel like we can open up that entire shoulder, scap area, all of that range of motion we need in our golf swing. Then I can go just up, downs into the backpack. Feel like I can really drop this down into the slot. Start to warm that up, and then once I get comfy with that, I can go into my airplanes, where I go into my wide arms, bands across, and then feel like I can make my rotations starting to shift into my right, into my left, into my right, into my left. Great warm up, get your body ready to go before you even make any swings out there. I need to reiterate how important the gym is. Having your body right is such a key component for not only swinging the golf club well, but for staying ready and able and staying fit for the entirety of the tournament. For that guy that gets tired on the last few holes of the tournament or the last day, that's where we can build it in here, have the body hold up and be stronger at the end of the event. That's why Tiger was so successful for years. He outworked everybody. So by the end of the tournament, he was the strongest. in his body and his head. So highly recommend you guys putting in simple exercises, getting ready for a tournament before the event. Make sure that your body is prepped, ready to go, and ready to withstand the entirety of the tournament so that you're ready to hold up and maintain at the end of the event, hopefully hold that trophy. And last but not least, you need to go play. In order to get ready to play 18 holes, 36 holes, 72 holes in a tournament, whatever it is, you need to go play. You can't replicate this environment on the range. You need to get a feel for the timing in between holes, the timing of an entire round, whether you're walking. If you are, go out and walk. Feel like you build that time, energy, strength in your legs, take a push cart, get a good feel for it, and then be really consistent about your routine. Each shot, even if you hit a couple shots out there, really take the time to go over your numbers, go over your strategy, go through your execution, and then adjust. Make the adjustments, make the notes of what went wrong, what you did well, and just continue to build more data into the bank that'll prepare you when you're ready for that tournament. Last thing, talking to Q about this, you can't replicate the tournament feel outside of a tournament. So for those of you that are looking to play more tournaments, even if it's just member guest tournaments or tournaments, local tournaments, or it's higher level tournaments, you can't replicate that tournament feel outside of playing a tournament. So sign up for more tournaments, put yourself under the gun, put yourself into the fire. That's how you start to adjust and really test yourself, build those nerves, and get ready for those situations to go execute. So let me know how it goes. Get out there, have fun, grind, go get that W. Learn from the process. Like, comment, subscribe, really helps me in the channel. I want to hear how you guys are doing in your last tournament, in your tournaments you have coming up, what you want to hear more on, getting ready for tournaments, your bag, your game. I'm here to help give you guys the insight that I've had playing professional golf for the last 10 years into what can help you become a better golfer. So like, comment, subscribe, stick around. We'll see you next time.